Your life looks exactly like that. The room is dim, dishes pile up, notifications scream, and you scroll. One more video, one more meme, chasing a hit that evaporates the second you close the app. You are not lazy. You are not broken. Your brain has been hacked by a flood of effortless dopamine, and the hardware that once pushed our ancestors to hunt, build, and explore is now hijacked by infinite feeds, refined sugar, and next-day delivery. The result is a motivational credit card maxed out on micro rewards, leaving the real goals, health, relationships, work, looking like impossible interest payments. The good news, neuroplasticity works both ways. If a system can be wired, it can be rewired. Tonight, you become the engineer, not the product. Step 1 is the foundation: engineer your environment. Every object in your line of sight is a silent cue that either drags you down or lifts you up. A cluttered desk literally raises cortisol, the stress hormone that numbs executive function. Start tonight with a 5-minute sweep: trash in the bin, dishes in the washer, blinds open. The goal is not Instagram cleanliness. It is sending an unmistakable signal to the limbic system. Order has returned, and you are the agent who brought it. While you move, pair the visual reset with a physiological one: 10 squats, a glass of water, a 3-minute cold rinse. You are not getting motivated. You are removing friction and flooding the brain with norepinephrine, a chemical that sharpens attention. When the space is clear, open a notes app and write one sentence describing how the air feels. That tiny act of narration anchors the change in language, the first brick in a new identity. Step 2 is identity lock-in. Forget 5-year visions. Ask who you are becoming today. Neuroscience calls this self-relevant processing. The brain encodes behaviors as like me or not like me, and future effort defaults to the stronger schema. Write 3 adjectives: disciplined, focused, energetic, and place them on the lock screen. Each time the phone lights up, the cue collides with the old habit loop, forcing a millisecond recalculation. Then shrink the gap between present and future self with a micro-habit so small it feels ridiculous: 1 push-up, 1 page, 1 breath of meditation. The error most people make is sizing the habit to the goal instead of the brain's current trust balance. You are rebuilding self-efficacy, the prefrontal belief that your actions impact outcomes. Every completed rep deposits a coin in that account, and the balance compounds faster than you think. Step 3 weaponizes triggers through implementation intentions. Research by Peter Gallwitzer shows that if X then Y plans triple follow-through rates. Translate vague ambition into binary code: if I close the laptop, I will immediately roll out the yoga mat. If the kettle clicks, I will open the flashcard app. Stack the new routine onto an existing neural highway so the brain does not waste willpower on ignition. Write 3 such pairings on a sticky note and plant them at the exact trigger point: mat beside the desk, app on the home screen, shoes by the bed. Within a week, the basal ganglia begins to automate the sequence, and conscious effort drops by up to 40%. You are not trying harder, you are slipping the new behavior into the slipstream of the old. Step 4 schedules the day like a programmer, not a poet. Open your calendar and block 2 hours of deep work at the same time every morning. Protect it with a border wall label: NON, negotiable. During that window, phone in another room, notifications off, tab count at 1. The prefrontal cortex peaks in the first 3 hours after waking. Every diversion siphons glucose that could build neural pathways for the skill that actually moves the needle. If resistance spikes, deploy the 10-minute rule. Commit for only 10 minutes, after which you can quit. 80% of the time you will keep going because starting is the real activation energy. Log the session with a simple, white, heavy checkmark in the calendar. Visible chain becomes its own dopamine source, turning consistency into a game you can win. Step 5 is the daily motion mandate. Evolution wired the human brain for 16,000 steps of hunting and gathering. Cubicles haven't rewired the hardware, they've only unplugged it. Exercise is not a lifestyle upgrade, it is a neurochemical patch. 30 minutes of elevated heart rate releases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that fertilizes new synapses and reverses the pruning caused by chronic stress. You do not need a gym, you need a timer and the pavement. Jog, jump rope, shadow box, anything that hits 65% max heart rate. Do it first thing after the deep work block while cortisol is already high. The brain interprets the combined spike as a single stressor, then flushes it with endorphins, leaving a clean slate for the afternoon. Track the streak on a paper calendar taped to the fridge. Crossing off the day with a thick red marker delivers a tactile reward more potent than any likes. Step 6. Hard codes integrity through micro-promises. Every time you say, "I'll do it later," you issue a tiny IOU to yourself. Miss enough payments and the internal credit score tanks, turning future promises into jokes no neuron believes. Reverse the spiral by issuing only promises you can keep today: 1 glass of water before lunch, 1 email reply before scroll time. Write each commitment on a sticky note, sign it with your initials, and place it in direct line of sight. When the task is done, crumple the note and slam dunk it into the trash. The physical destruction closes the loop and gives the limbic system a hit of closure most people chase from social media. Over weeks, the brain reassociates your own word with certainty, not disappointment. Discipline is not a character trait, it is the compound interest of kept promises. Step 7 closes the feedback loop with deliberate reflection. Every night, set a 5-minute timer and answer 3 prompts in the same note. What cue worked? What friction remained? What identity proof did I collect? Do not write essays, bullet fragments are enough. The exercise activates the default mode network, consolidating scattered experiences into explicit memory tags. Those tags become reference data for tomorrow's algorithm, letting you iterate faster than weekly retrospectives. If the day derailed, state the failure in 1 line, then immediately append the counter-movement. This prevents the amygdala from rehearsing shame and keeps the focus on system adjustment, not self-flagellation. Finish by reading the 3 adjectives from the lock screen aloud. Sound is a second sensory channel. Hearing your own voice claim the identity reinforces the neural ensemble twice as hard. 7 steps, 1 system. You're not aiming for perfection, you're aiming for trajectory. Miss a habit, shorten the chain, but never miss the review, because the review is where the brain rewrites the code. Stack enough cycles and the basal ganglia takes ownership. Behaviors run on autopilot while conscious bandwidth is freed for bigger targets. The room will get messy again. The scroll will beckon. The cheap dopamine dealers will update their algorithms, but you will have a firewall, an environment engineered for clarity, an identity that votes for the future self, and a daily protocol that treats motivation as an output, not an input. Start tonight. Clear 1 square meter, do 1 push-up, write 1 line. The first iteration is always the heaviest. Every rep after is a withdrawal from the account you just opened. Compound it, and the interest pays for a life you no longer need to escape.